Now, Jim, let's make this clear. Who am I going to swim with tomorrow? What? Where? Why? These versions of Johnny Carson were so funny and true. They became famous events that people still talk about decades later. This week has been fun. Clint Eastwood came to see us. It was Queen Elizabeth Domlois here. But Ed and I are the only ones here tonight. We're taking a moment to think about the last 30 years. These are Johnny Carson's funniest versions of politicians done by Jonathan Winters. Jonathan Winters, the politician who can change his mind. Please tell me what you think about our country. I think a lot of people are worried about one thing about our economy, and they're right to be. Is a dollar worth anything anymore? And I think what we need to do is that it's just one of my many channels. I have no idea how many. They're going to work, but I think it doesn't matter if you only get 2 out of 80. Carson later told his staff, Winters' dedication to every politician feels like a different body, not just a different Johnny Carson's Reagan impression accent. Jim, I already told you I think they'll ask about my interior secretary. James, what? You and he are going to go swimming together at the Y tomorrow morning. Where? Why? That's right. What with? What with? I have no idea. Who is it with? Jim. Now, Jim, let's make this clear. Who am I going to swim with tomorrow? What? Where? Why? Laughter. Johnny plays Reagan practicing for a press conference so well that Reagan himself showed up on the show. Show after a few months. How do you make sure the budget is fair? Keeping the budget in check means making sure you don't spend more than you earn. Okay. It's the same as keeping your virtue safe. You need to say no more often. There must be a different way. Thank God Ronald didn't take offense. Who knows what could have happened to me, Carson is said to have said. Rich Little makes fun of Johnny Carson. Rich Little is a banned impressionist. To the Judiciary Committee of the House. All the written records of every talk that took place in the White House. I didn't give them the tapes. No, Little says in a rhythmic way that sounds like Johnny's while Carson laughs at himself in the mirror. Carson was so annoyed by how well Rich pulled off the impression that he banned Rich from The Tonight Show because he used the joke so much on music shows and in clubs. Johnny Carson is the Ed Sullivan that Johnny Carson imitates. Thanks for that wonderful beginning. Ladies and gents, welcome to our show. Have a really great show for the people in the crowd tonight. Some great things have been done for you cats. I'm also pretty great. Carson's impression of Ed Sullivan perfectly gets the formal but slightly awkward presentation. Style that is stiff and uses strange words. Johnny told his friends as a joke, I lean into the host voice and posture, making it instantly readable, music, even without naming it. Martin Short, the Bette Davis Martin Short impersonates Betty Davis Risk. Yes, John. How are things going? Betty is okay with it. Hey there. Laughs, wow. They know a boy, which makes Short laugh, and Betty Davis does too. Is there, and the fact that she doesn't seem pleased is part of the joke. Carson is said to have said that Short commits to the voice and attitude so fully that the tension is funny instead of mean. Andy Kaufman's Elvis impression. Kaufman, the great Elvis surprise. I'd like to sound like Elvis Presley. Kaufman gives Elvis a voice and body language that really work. Not a joke that makes everyone smile. The boss told Johnny's team. Music, Andy does so. Taking FaceTiming and stage appearance very seriously. It goes from a funny bit to how is this so true? Kevin Bacon Jim Carrey. The Kevin Bacon Jim Carrey tornado. Make Kevin Bacon sound really mean, but I can't. I'm not sure if we should do that or not. Alright, let's begin. It might take a while. Carrie suddenly does a twitchy Kevin Bacon impression, and then she gets even better by playing the harmonica in a W.I. Coyote style bit. Batman is Kevin Bacon. Okay. Cheers and clapping, that's cool. I understand. That's cool. So quickly does he go from serious actor energy to cartoon sound effects that Carson starts to laugh because the routine keeps going up instead of down. Dana Carvey impersonates Johnny Carson once. Dana Carvey pretends to be Carson. This week has been fun. Clint Eastwood came to see us. Queen Elizabeth, Duchess of Louise, was here. But tonight it was just Ed and me, and we were just sitting back and thinking about the last 30 years. No, you already know that I call back and hide my voice. Do you ever do that? Do you know what time the train to Reading, Connecticut, leaves? Carvey isn't just doing a voice, he's doing his whole image. Johnny seems to enjoy it, which makes me laugh. What would really happen, though, is something like what happened to Rich Little. Since the impersonation went over well on The Tonight Show, Dana did it again on Saturday Night Live, which made Carson so mad that he never asked him back, which Dana confirmed on his podcast. Was it okay with him at first that you did him? It was over when he went cold. I was just put on a ban. Oh. He did that to you? Oh, okay. No, I wasn't asked to come back, but I didn't blame him. I always loved that thing really much. Taking on. As a performer, it was the only time I didn't care if I made people laugh because I was smiling so hard inside. Tommy Smothers comes out as Johnny. It was really cold when Tommy Smothers came out as Johnny. As if nothing is wrong, Smothers walks out dressed as Johnny and pulls a yo-yo out of his sock to do tricks. I'm having second thoughts, but if you could let Jay know that I'm free on Tuesdays, that would be great. Get ready to come in. Johnny told the directors that Tommy would. I work so hard on the voice and presenting cadence that it feels like I took over the show. The 3-in-1 artist Kevin Pollak is known for his impressions. I couldn't help but wonder where William Shatner was. You know, Whale in Trouble. You need to bring in Bill Shatner. Humphrey. Pay attention to me. Space and time. You are taking up room and time that could be used for something else. Snaps of Pollak from Woody Allen's. From Shatner's dramatic stops and nervous, breathy delivery to Columbo's rumpled detective vibe, the actor did a great job. He changes both his voice and beat a lot, so each character sounds like a different speed. Would you like to catch some fish? Actually, I don't want to sound too preachy. I believe it is very important that we look into this small request you made. To begin, I don't like fishing because I have to pack. It's also not my strong suit to pack. I believe I put that on my resume. You might want to look into that. You should know that they don't like fish. There are real living things that I don't like where a worm can attract them. With the possible exception of my Aunt Bessie, who married my Uncle Bernie, a man who was very much like a worm. Johnny stands in for the crowd and reacts as Pollak keeps hitting the next switch to top himself off. The 3 impressions in one exercise is clean and never gets fuzzy. Carson likes how technically skilled on. Show off. Pollak's changes happen very quickly. A lot of people laugh at Shatner's stops. Pollak is moving too fast for Johnny to keep up. Sammy Davis Jr. duels with Carson, appears to be a duelist. I want to see you do it now. I did say no, though. I don't mean with Shecky and me here. Could you do Bogart for me? Please. Applause. The humor is like ping pong, one person makes a mark, and then the next person tops it. The important thing is how fast the switches work, so people are laughing at both the jokes and the recognition. Because you've had a few guys on the show, you don't get into it very often. On one night, you had Rich Little on, and he played Agnew. He was terrible, and all of a sudden, you feel stupid when you see someone like George Kirby, who does great voices for 90 characters. You dirty rats are still going. Yes. It stays loose because of Johnny's replies, which are like two entertainers trying to break each other. Instead of an interview, it feels more like a friendly fight. Even Carson is surprised by Sammy's range. Music, Johnny equals his power, making magic happen. The section goes beyond what was planned. Carson said it was one of his best times later. Rapid Fire Impressions Little by Rich Little is a rapid-fire slideshow. They always fought me when I tried to run the Tonight Show right. Laughs, Johnny wants to run around acting like a bad version of me. Take Doc's clothes. Broken tools. Not more and not less. Little has a quick-fire round of famous voices, which turns the couch into a one-man comedy show. He goes from one famous person to another, and he nails both the voice and the mannerisms. Getting your tongue stuck in your throat is the best way to play bogey. So that just kind of drools all down. It's funny to see Johnny try to keep up with Little as he keeps doing impressions one after the other without stopping. The way Johnny reacts in real time makes it a pure impressionist lesson. Little is moving way too fast. Carson stops hosting and joins the crowd. The variety shows what a huge range Little has. Later, Johnny stated that he couldn't match this talent for imitating Columbo. John F. Kennedy and Peter Falk. The climb to Columbo. That's not it, it's a conductor who kills his lover. And, well, the first show lasted 2 hours. The rest take an hour and a half. I think the first show was the best one we've ever done. I really did. Did you ask me that? I'm sorry. It's funny because Johnny tries to do Columbo in front of Columbo, and Falk is right there responding, which makes every attempt feel riskier and more personal. The specific detail is the Columbo-style rhythm with a meandering, casual delivery that loops back around while Johnny checks out the voice and movements. That's right, there was a gun. Do you keep a gun around the house? I mean, it probably doesn't matter, laughs. After work, I'll talk to you about it. It most likely isn't important. In that show, you kill me. You're really great in that show. Really? What are you going to do, John? Are you going to stay here or do you want to go somewhere else? The laughs come from Falk being there, which makes it seem like Johnny might fail a test. It's not often that a host tries to make an impression that works on camera. Carson is aware that the source is judging him. What Falk does is worth a lot of money. Even though Johnny tries, he can't get into the flow of the casual detective. To put it another way, I would pass out if they lost this code. I'm going to die. It's true. I would die. They weren't able to get copies of it yet after I asked them to. And all we can do is hope that this thing holds out. But I think that would affect me. Johnny gives in, even though it's hard. Carson tries it, and Falk likes to watch. People love how the story turns around. Parts. Carson's Columbo isn't perfect, but it's fun to watch. It's funnier when Falk adds notes to it. Johnny likes that Falk is playing along. Because both men value each other, the part works. Carson later said that this was scary. The humor is better with Falk there. Johnny also tries standing with his arms rumpled. It's close enough that the voice almost works. The acceptance of Falk is very important to Carson. In Johnny, he shows that hosts can also do impressions. It turns into a section about friendship instead of just impression. Carson's desire to fail ends his life. Falk later said it was one of his favorite times on The Tonight Show. Johnny told his team that he was really scared. It's hard because the Columbo figure is so clear. Carson's try shows how far he can go. Johnny's success is based on how Falk reacts. The teamwork makes it stand out. Man from another country, Andy Kaufman, the other man. You're not smart. Everyone is so stupid. You say it out loud. Get off of this chair. You cleaned the kitchen. Give me the food. Everyone is so stupid. I don't like people who are so stupid. Thanks a lot. Foreign Man is funny because the whole point is the bad delivery, with awkward stops, off-key words, and bad timing. A certain repeating joke. With this character, music is how he can sound like a known TV character while still being completely off. Johnny's laughs get bigger because the character doesn't let go and keeps committing. It's not funny at all, but it still gets huge laughs in the studio. Kaufman's music never goes out of character, which makes it both funny and awkward. At first, the crowd doesn't know what to do. Carson goes along with it because he knows Kaufman is smart. The foreign man's voice is meant to sound bad. Johnny likes how daring anti-impressions are. Kaufman's dedication makes the nonsense seem real. It's the character's fame that matters more than first thoughts. In the end, Carson said that Kaufman was one of the most interesting guests. The awkward timing makes people laugh out of the blue. Johnny gives Kaufman charge of the part. A foreign man shows that bad people can be smart. The audience finally gets it to blow up. It pays off for Carson to trust Kaufman.